Well, guys, welcome back to Cigars and Stenkos. We are fixing to head out to Kentucky Lake tomorrow, but we figured before we get into everything, we do a little backstory because the name might sound funny, or trying to give you guys a little backstory where we come from, our fishing journeys, and what kind of led us to where we're at today. And it's always good just hanging out. At some point, I'm sure we'll turn into a podcast. We'll go live. However we want to do it, we take questions, or we plan on going around and meeting up with the different people, different anglers, and just kind of seeing how this all works out and playing it by ear. But we figured at least we'll start with one to give you guys the backstory of where we're at. I'm just gonna pretty much, I guess, turn it over to Tyson and let him talk about his fishing journey, like where he's at, and honestly just have like an open conversation, just chat a little bit.
Yeah, it's the origin story. So
of how he came to be.
Yeah, exactly. And me and Sawyer both came into the fishing world. Was media what got you into it?
Yeah.
Is that how that initially started you out?
Yeah. Originally, because I was in Knoxville at the time.
Yeah.
And I was doing I was working at Uncle Lem's, which is like a kayak place and stuff. So we had like the mutual friends, I think, through the kayaking world.
Yeah, that's actually how we met. I worked at a retail store, and your dad came in. I was doing some archery work and stuff, and he said that you were moving back from Tennessee, and I was like, well,
Right.
Actually, we were friends.
Right. Without knowing we were friends.
Without knowing.
Kind of we were, yeah.
Yeah. And so it's kind of cool, like the kayaking thing is how I was always, the people that got me into fishing when I moved out here, awesome people, and that's just how that started, like that addiction. And it went from creeking, just wading any creek we could do. And it was cool because when I came into it, it was when like the tournament side of things too were also just starting to kick off. Like,
Because what year did they? Because at the time I was in Tennessee, so this would have been, I was in Tennessee from 2012 to 2017. 2015 and 16 and 17 is when I fished as a co-angler, fished the Open Series with the Bassmasters. When did the Hobie stuff start? Like, because it was when did it finally kick off when you got into that?
so my first, initially it was just one tournament annually on Kentucky Lake, and I think the first one was one I didn't fish. I want to say it was 2014.
Yeah.
I don't remember, for whatever reason I didn't go. I'm pretty sure that's right. Anyway, I fished the 2015 one, and I mean it's just, when I think about tournaments, like those are some of the highlight memories of that whole thing. And the cool thing too is like our local club, I was a part of it from start, like the Bluegrass Yak Masters, and I know they played a big role in a lot of really what kayaking tournaments are today. There wasn't like names you could hear in our trail that would put up like big standings in like these
Right.
national tournaments.
Yeah.
And it was just really cool to see.
Yeah. Yeah, it was fun, like moving back from Tennessee for me, because long story short, it ended up being a crapshoot. So I had to move back and like end up getting the job at Sportsman's, met each other, figured out like, oh wait, we were actually friends on Facebook, mutual friends of the kayaking world.
Yep.
Because you were fishing with Hobie, and I was with Jackson Kayaks at the time.
Yep.
Then I kind of moved away from, when Eric Jackson, the owner of Jackson Kayaks, decided to start fishing the Bassmaster Series as a boater, I met up because of like we had, what were they called? The meetings, or we all hung out at every year, it was like once a year or whatever. They had a big party and showed off the new products. It's like an ICAST for kayaks, but not really. The summit?
It was in Salt Lake.
No. This is the one with Jackson down at the store, like at the warehouse. Because like
like OR or something like that.
or something. Yeah, I can't remember at the time, but like, so I ended up getting I ended up getting out of the kayak side because Eric was fishing Bassmasters, and then through Bassmasters getting a chance to like co-angler with, like I traveled my first year with Eric, then I ended up traveling my second year with Skylar Hamilton, third year with Brett Pruitt, And then the last year I fished it was with Kazuki, which is now like him and Alton Jones Jr. and all those guys are running Geecrack, which we'll get to more of that kind of toward the end. But and then I just kind of never went back to a kayak. And nowadays, like, we have those conversations all the time that it's just getting insane.
Yeah.
But we can't skip over, like, you gotta tell people about your big wins and like the cool stuff you got to do, because like a lot of people want to know that.
Yeah, I mean, I had out of Hobie fishing two events. They were qualifiers for the Worlds. 2015 I qualified, and then 2018 I qualified at Kentucky Lake. So I fished the Worlds in the 2015 one was November 2015, and then the Australia one, I think I won in 2018, and then I fished July of 19.
Right.
I hope I'm right on that.
I can't. Yeah.
I think that's how that worked.
Yeah, because I remember, because we were hanging out at the time, because I was a sportsman and went to Australia, right? Yeah. Right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I was, because we were talking about the little crab things you couldn't find, little tungsten crabs. Yeah. catching little perch fish for a championship.
Yeah. They were a lot like bass, though. Like,
yeah.
I mean, I finished tied for 7th. I think I ended up finishing 8th. Lost the tie or whatever, but
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just getting brought up in fishing, and even like looking back at my roots, like my granny just passed away this recently, and like Papa passed away several years ago, and getting brought up in fishing and like always going out and catching bluegill and stuff, like you kind of get that from the start.
Those are the things you remember too.
Oh yeah, like catching the catfish and like
yeah.
Classically throw the cat food in the water. They're like, watch this, and you're just like, ah, it's like a little kid trying to hang on.
Yeah.
But like those things bring you up to fishing. And I think once you get hooked, you're hooked.
Yeah.
No pun intended.
Yeah.
And it's cool how it morphed in from like even last year, because I fished with another guy. We still fish together, Corey Black. Like, he's great, one of my best friends, and like we made the state championship 2 years ago. Last year we qualified for a big championship with casting for kids. And then like this year we were looking at other trails, and I knew I wanted to compete on a more of a Kentucky Bass Nation type of trail. So like fishing with NTBA, you were able to fish, and it's kind of like a full circle moment. Like
yeah.
I mean, it's kind of cool how it all like kind of rotated back to where it's at.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like I took a,
hiatus.
Just no reason, no rhyme, just decided to turn my attention to other things, and hadn't really fished much, like any kayak tournaments or anything for 5 years. I think something like that.
Yeah.
And I did a few last year. I did Lake Norman and North Carolina.
Yeah, I remember
that
you
was
talking
awesome.
about the North Carolina tournament.
And Yak Masters, they revived, and I fished a Dale Hollow tournament, and then I went up to Saginaw Bay, and it was really cool for me because I saw from when I was fishing when it was just the Hobie Bass Open, and I kind of fell out when it was a trail, and then I did it last year, and then it was cool for me because this year they don't have a trail, so it was like my last moment to like, and I hope they come back. I don't know what their plans are, if it was just something to revisit, whatever. I'm not, that is what it is, but it was just cool to see how the evolution of all that, and know that my kayak is extremely outdated. Like everything, I'm still pedaling. But that
no trolling motors,
no
live, no nothing.
Yeah.
Which that could be a whole nother topic to get into, but we're not just not going to go down that rabbit hole tonight. But once we decided to come back, we wanted to figure out like a way, because with me like graduating from film school, like being a part of tons of shoots with elite anglers on the Bassmaster side, several companies that work with Bassmaster and Major League Fishing, and like wanting to be, I was like, I've always wanted to film, so we tried to figure out a way to to film something, but also like create content for you guys to watch. Like, or if we're honest, not really even for you guys, like just for us to go back and watch, because we like watching our fish catches and stuff. Like, we really don't. We hope it grows, but if it doesn't, it's still something fun for us to always have to go back and look at.
I'll always remember it.
Yeah, just something, you know, to have. And like we said, we hope it grows. Like, hope people get involved. Hope we have some cool people sit down and hopefully turn this into like a more podcast. But but we try to figure out like what's one way we can like come together. What do we like? Which we both, you know, we enjoy, like cigar aficionados. We like smoking cigars. We like sipping on a little glass of bourbon every now and then. We're like, well, like let's just call this thing Cigars and Stenkos without the T. If you guys know what I'm getting at. But come to find out, you couldn't use that word because that word's copyrighted. So we had to go down the rabbit hole. Like, what are we gonna name it? And like we always joked around, like we always called them Stenkos because it's like you always catch them on the Stenko because everybody catches fish on a Stenko regardless. So we came up with Cigars and Stenkos, and really
that's
just
what we're trying to build
just trying to see what happens now at this point.
Yeah.
But like I said, we leave for Kentucky Lake tomorrow. Obviously, this video will go up.
Yeah, like 6 hours, 7 hours.
Is it really that? Yeah. And my wife was texting me, so that's why I was looking down. I was being rude.
7 hours. 7 hours we'll be on the road to Kentucky Lake.
Right. Which I need a way better tournament than I did last time. But like I said, you guys will probably see this after that event. And then, you know, after this video, we'll get the videos from the event. But we want to take a minute. I don't even know how long we're supposed to go or not go. Or
we're just winging it.
You know, if you ever see us out on the water at a tournament, come hang out. I'm sure we'll have a box of cigars.
Yep.
Maybe a little glass of
something,
and just like feel free to hang out. I know you got some people you want to have on the show with us, and
yeah, we got some plans down the pipeline. We're just kind of playing it day by day. You know, we got some clothing stuff we're gonna work on.
Yeah, we got some clothing stuff.
Initially for us, you know, but maybe eventually if it strikes an interest, you know, that'll be available. We'll just take it by that.
Yeah, we do got to get some huge shout outs, at least for us. And I'll have all this stuff linked down in the description. But Corey Holman at Suntropic. Yeah. If you guys are not in Danville, if you're around Danville, go check out Suntropic. He's got all of the fishing gear, hunting gear, pools. If you got a pool, he's got one of the most killer gun rooms ever, I think, in Central Kentucky.
I learned that. I went to go buy fishing gear, and I walked in and, you know, ended up walking out with a 357 lever action, too. So.
Right. So we got to plug Suntropic. We'll plug Sam.
Yeah. So, Del Hollow, if anyone watched that video, I had a Daiwa reel that was screaming. It was not happy at all, and it had been doing it for a while. He said all the spine was broke.
Yeah, I'm not like
I
could take them apart and break them, and he fixes
a lot of stuff was broke. And I had a Corrado reel that I took saltwater fishing right after I bought it because I was told it was saltwater. It was not. It locked up like the next day. Showed me the picture of the bearings. You could tell I saltwater fished out of it, and he fixed it, and then it's magic now. And literally got it earlier this week. First of the weekend.
Yeah.
4 days I had it back.
Yeah.
5 days.
And disclaimer too, he is slowing down right now. Wintertime, if you send him reels, it could be a 3-4 week turnaround.
Yeah, you'll never know. Yeah.
He cleans like 600 reels a year. You know, with Dominator reel tuning. I'll plug him down in the bottom. And lastly, I do want to plug Geecrack. Like I said, I traveled with Kazuki on a Bassmaster. That would have been 2017 was my last year fishing as Kangler. Really good friend. Traveled with him and his wife and his son. My mom and dad came to some of the events. Got to know him through Geecrack. And obviously now Geecrack has exploded.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, like killer brand, killer people, awesome baits. But they just started up the Crackhouse a little bit ago. I'll link the description on the bottom. It's an exclusive club. You sign up. It's like $100 a year, and you get access to all the bait drops, all like the new, like we've seen Geecrack and Throwback do some stuff together. There's a band called Anxious that's getting ready to do a collab which check out Anxious. I'll drop them in the bottom too. They got some killer punk music. If you like punk rock, they're awesome. I really enjoy it. I'm a drummer, so I like listening to their music. And the drummer is a huge fisherman for Anxious, so
that's awesome.
But like exclusive JDM stuff you can't find. Like it's just a good community. Like nobody's a jerk. Excuse me. So check out the Crack House. I mean, for anglers, what's $100 a year? We spend that in a day at Cabela's.
Half a day at Cabela's. Or,
yeah. I mean, So, so check that out. Anything?
Yeah, the Geecrack thing was funny because before they were available in retailers.
Oh yeah.
These actually was a bait that helped me qualify for the Australia tournament at the Worlds, and
that's right, because Kazuki gave me those baits, and I was like, "Here, take them with you."
Yeah, and then the bellow stick.
Right.
And what was it? What size are they?
Big.
Yeah, they're big.
They're like 8-inch worms.
Yeah, you can shake it and like a half a gallon of water comes off. But anyway,
the bellow stick.
You couldn't find them here, so I would be finding wholesalers in Japan, and then a wholesaler started selling them.
It's like Arkansas,
in like Missouri
it was like
somewhere there, and I bought out all of them before that tournament, and it was just funny. Like you knew you wanted it, but you couldn't find them, and now they're like pros are sponsored by them.
Oh yeah, dude, and the Classic was crazy. Like I wish I could have went. Originally, I had planned on going to the Classic, but this tournament worked trying to get forward. It was a lot. I wish I could have went, but yeah, we're gonna be throwing them this week. Like I mean, that is what it is.
We got a little special square bill to be thrown too.
Yeah, we won't talk about that on camera. Shh, you don't see nothing. It'll be one of those. We'll have to put a censored logo like Buka does with Bullshad on all his baits.
Yeah. But yeah, appreciate y'all. Hopefully we got some good footage from this next tournament. It's gonna be a lot warmer either way.
Oh yeah, not 11 degrees, no frozen rods, no ice cubes.
No motorcycle helmet.
No motorcycle helmet. Yeah, no motorcycle helmet, 70 degrees, it's gonna be great. But we're getting up at 4 o'clock, something like that. Make sure you guys like and subscribe to the video, share it around. We may be goobers, we may be not, I don't know. We're just kind of doing a thing right now, so hope you guys enjoyed it. A little bit of our backstory, so until next time.
Yeah.
What's gonna be our Thank you guys, we appreciate it. We'll see y'all later.
All right, peace.